Hey everybody, how's it going? So I've just watched Moomin Littlesock's video about his Planet Coaster 2 wishlist, and I actually really want to join this conversation, and rather than doing what I usually do and just copying somebody else's work, I'd actually like to add to the conversation with my own additional wishlist for a potential sequel. And because, you know, Moomin and I are just so powerful in the world, no seriousness, maybe if enough of us make enough noise, then we might actually get what we asked for, but these are the things that I would love to see which haven't been mentioned before. Well, sort of. I mean, we should definitely start with weather. Let's be fair, Planet Zoo absolutely nails weather. The effects, the lighting, the interaction with the buildings and the terrain is absolutely perfect. Planet Zoo just proves that an engine in an open world building game is perfectly capable of delivering weather. Planet Zoo perfects staff rooms and back of house interiors as well. I'd love to see this expanded into the world of Planet Coaster with things like modular hotel rooms and modular restaurant tables, where a square is a table in a restaurant that's connected to a kitchen, and then modular back of house maintenance areas that work, and warehouses that store things, you know, that sort of thing. I mean, imagine building a hotel where your rooms are, well, actually rooms, but no peeking through the windows of the bathrooms, you pervs. This isn't The Sims. But at least you know your hotels are a realistic size if you actually have to build them. No more 4x4 blocks that you can just stack on the same square if you've got collision disabled. Yay! Planet Coaster was always missing Midway games. We started to get them in the form of grabber machines, and then had it teased that it opened the possibility of these sorts of things, but they never materialised. No theme park game since, well, Bullfrog's theme park in the 1990s has ever attempted to tackle this, and it's just been a black hole for so long. Another thing that no theme park game has ever entertained is open and closed seasons. The closest we get is choosing the open and closed times, which dictates daylight, but ultimately we've got always open, always operating parks. And yeah, sure, that's the nature of the type of game that we play, absolutely, but you can add new game mechanics if you have to, for example, maintain your rides for at least 3 months in a year. You can either schedule the entire park to close whilst you do that, or you can do a Disney and you can be open all year round, but you have to close your rides for 3 months to complete those inspections. And plus, just like a real park, you're going to have to budget to not go bust whilst you're closed. You're going to have to send your staff home. Now, there is always a massive focus on how your parks look. It's the core thing that the game is designed around. So let's just add to the idea that Moomin raised about backstage and say that you should also have to hire the teams that make your park work. Maybe their office space could work like that hotel system I spoke about earlier, but either way, your park is run by an army of admin staff like marketeers and finance and HR, IT, engineers, trainers, and all those people. Now granted, this adds way more admin to the game, and micromanagement isn't for everybody, but if Planet Coaster is going to be truly the next generation sequel, then this is something that has always been missing. Your parks will feel way more real if you have to build them with these teams. Now, this is one of the big asks that really divides opinion amongst you guys, and this is construction time and planned opening dates. Now, I would personally love to see a system where you create a ride as a blueprint in the spot that you want to build it, and you then commit to building it and see it built over the span of game time. Now, whilst it's building, you can then build hype for the new ride through marketing, and you can hold the grand opening event when it's ready, and as long as everything goes to plan along the way, you can then watch all of your guests flood to the ride when you open the park for the new season. And saving the best for last, this is the big one for me. This is the ability to plug it into Zoo, or of course the inevitable Zoo sequel, and vice versa. I mean, these two games are meant to live in the same universe, and they really don't. We don't have common building pieces, we don't have common terrain textures or anything like that. In fact, what we do have are the same looking guests, and some of the brands crossed over. Now, it would be awesome if we could just plug each of the games into each other so that we could just have animals in our theme parks or rides in our zoos. Some of the zoo building pieces would look absolutely amazing in our parks, and some of the Planet Coaster pieces are missing from Zoo. So the big question then, how realistic is all of this? And to be honest, it's all a big ask. Most of this stuff, for various reasons like players not being remotely interested in this sort of stuff, has never been in a theme park game before. And I'm sure Frontier will want to outdo themselves with any sequel to Planet Coaster. It has to shine if it's going to be the next generation. So what can we realistically expect, and can we get any clues? Well, Jurassic World Evolution 2 is coming out, and we can absolutely look at that game for clues. Frontier do like to test their future tech on the games that they already have out. Do you remember when controller support was added to Planet Coaster that nobody asked for? Console. What about all of those weather effects that completely freaked out our PC? Well, that ended up as weather in Planet Zoo. What about those changes to the guest AI that we saw that were suddenly reversed? Well, that was the guest AI for Zoo. What about the introduction of the grabber machines and the vending machines late in the development? Well, that was just testing the ability to have them on the side of the paths for Zoo. And of course, let's not forget the piece of crap that was the new and improved advanced move tool. That one, everybody immediately reverted back to, but somehow it made its way into Zoo. And then the original Jurassic World Evolution came along, and suddenly there was working weather, we had better staff facilities, power and water requirements, animal interactions, you know, all of that stuff. Watch this space, they hide this stuff in plain sight. Now, if you do want to add to this conversation, comment on either this or Moomin's video, and the louder we are, the more chance we've got of being listened to. But until then, let's build a new park, and don't forget to check out Moomin's video if you haven't already. See you soon. Thanks you guys, take care, bye bye.